Hello there everyone, this is a short video that is just going to be detailing my experience with Harvest in its initial iteration. I think Harvest League might be the most fun I've ever had in PoE, full stop. It allowed for the creation of so many nice and cool builds and the customization of gear like I've never experienced before. And I'm not sure how I feel about the long-term health of the game, considering how strong you could really make your characters, but all I know is that I played Harvest League almost longer than I did any other league ever since or before. And I thought I'd show the potential that was there for crafting gear, even in an SSF environment. In Trade League, I think many people will be aware of how many 6 tier 1 items were made that quite late dwarfs any other league in that sense. So today I'm just going to go over the more insane pieces, I guess. I won't go over all my gear. For example, these rings are pretty unassuming. They're not particularly great considering the league I was in. But there are couple certain pieces like this wand, for example, that has some really hard to hit things. It has both the damage over time suffix and the chaos damage over time prefix, along with chaos spell skill gems +1 globally, and then the malevolence artifact. And that I had to get after essentially annulling off the multi-mod so I could slam this thing with a Hunter's Orb. And if that had gone wrong, I still could have fixed it potentially with had them remove influence, but those things were very rare, so I'm very happy that I hit this artifact roll. It's truly one of the more insane items I have in SSF standard, and I don't think I'm ever gonna get anything close to this in the future. Then we have a couple of other pieces, like this chest, for example, which just has insane rolls. It's triple T1 prefix, along with some decent suffixes, nothing amazing, tier 1 lightning res and energy shield per second. And then on top of that, I also hit the increased energy shield implicit with with adding a synthesized modifier, which just brings this to an insane amount of energy shield for any trickster. This thing is probably one of the most valuable things I have in SSF standard. And then this thing was surprisingly easy to craft. This is a hunter and +1 int, +1 chaos, along with chaos damage over time multiplier, cast speed, and cold res. And this thing is so hard to craft nowadays that I don't know if anyone's hit anything like this since Harvest. They probably have, but it costs so much that in something like an SS7 environment, it's not really viable to go for something like this. And then we of course have the shield, which is not great. I have tier 3 flat ES, so this thing could be a lot better. But even then, it's absolutely great. And then I have some boots that also have the only problem of having a tier 2 maximum ES roll, and then the belt is also absolutely insane. I think the only thing that really is a problem here is that I'm missing 5 or so maximum energy shield, otherwise this thing is absolutely perfect. So it really just goes to show how far you can take things, and I'm sitting at 14,000 energy shield with still having a really solid amount of damage. I think I am at something like 400k tooltip, which will be a lot more in reality when you account for things like curses and blight stacks. So I'm a bit conflicted. I feel like Harvest was a great league for me personally, but I think long term for the health of the game, players probably shouldn't have that much access to gear progression, but I still find myself missing it occasionally, and I do wonder how the game's long term health would have been had it stayed the way it was.